Hello everyone, hope everybody's doing great today. Appreciate those who watch this video. Hope you enjoy it. Today we're talking about The Order, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. If you really want to know what an Indiana Jones movie would be like, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, welcome to The Order, because it's very much like an Indiana Jones movie, especially the third Indiana Jones, the one for the Search for the Holy Grail. In this movie, The Order, Jean-Claude Van Damme, he had a falling out with his father, who is a professor. His father has some ancient texts about a prophecy, and there's the order. They're trying to regain this text to see what this prophecy it is so they can fulfill it. And they kidnap Van Damme's father. And so Van Damme goes to save his father. Van Damme is kind of like a Tomb Raider a little bit. You know, he goes around stealing artifacts and selling them on the black market. So it's kind of like a little bit of a Tomb Raider, Lara Croft type of character there. So let's get into this movie. First off, let's get into the bad stuff. I'm going to start you low, getting you like down and depressed, and then we're going to end on the upper low, and the upper, end this on a high. So the story is okay. The plot is all right. Like I said, it's like an Indiana Jones movie in a way. So he's trying to find his father. He has to find clues to see where his father is and why he got kidnapped. But like the acting is very bad. Very bad acting. Very wooden performances. Van Damme does a pretty good job. You know, Van Damme is Van Damme. Van Damme, I guess to make Van Damme look good, he gets bad actors. But you do get kind of a roll call from Lionheart. So you got like Cynthia's assistant, her assistant. He's in this movie, but he's like the main villain. I can't really say he's like the main villain. What is a little bit different about this movie, you have two villains, but he plays like the cult leader, or the guy who kills the cult leader, so he becomes the cult leader. So, but anyways, he's like the second main bad guy in this. But the only thing I can see every time I see his face, even though he had a beard, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Cynthia's assistant from Lionheart. That's the one thing I kept on viewing in my head. Poor guy, I got him typecasted. It's kind of like Ed O'Neill from Married with Children. He's a fantastic actor, but anytime he played like a different role other than Al Bundy, people couldn't take him serious because he was so attached to that role that it was hard for him to get other acting jobs. So kind of like that one. And then you have the other cameo from Lionheart. In that movie, you get the two French guys from the army chasing after Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in that one. Well, one of them makes an appearance in this movie. They have a pretty good street fight scene, though. Pretty good, well done. Like, the fighting choreography is a highlight of this movie. I don't know if Van Damme was the one who set all the set pieces up for the fighting, for the action scenes. The action scenes are pretty good in this movie. I'm never saying this job, but in this movie, they're very well good. That is like the highlight, which is good because Van Damme is an action star. You have to get that right. Performances is bad. Cinematography is not very good either. The acting is bad. Cinematography is iffy. But it does excel in the action scenes. Are very well done. And I did like the fact that I've never been to Jerusalem, and it feels like they shot this movie in Jerusalem, so I got to see parts of Jerusalem that I would never get to see in my life. So I did enjoy that part. That was another highlight, right, of this movie. Let's see, what else I got here. Pardon me while I look at my notes. But yeah, that's like the highlight, is like the action scenes. And then terrible acting. And the dialogue is terrible as well. Everything just seems kind of robotic a little bit, especially when it comes to the dialogue. I feel like the script is over here and they're kind of reading their lines, kind of like that's how people are given their lines, saying their wording. Like a lot of conversations don't feel natural whatsoever. It's kind of like my line is, the man with the blue hat was the one who stole your father. That's not an actual line in the movie, but that's kind of how like the dialogue is given. And the acting is about as good as the acting that I just did. But like I said, fantastic acting scenes. Nobody comes to a Van Damme movie for the acting anyways, right? If you get good acting in a Van Damme movie, it's like a bonus. You just go in there to see him kick butt, do incredible fighting scenes, and you got some pretty cool stunts in this. That's another highlight of this movie. But I can see why I stopped watching Van Damme movies after the one he made with Dennis Rodman. Was that Double Team? I do believe that was like the last Van Damme movie I really saw until I watched this Abomination. But I gotta say, I did have parts of the movie I did enjoy, but I was fighting it. Fighting watching this, like, oh my gosh, will this movie ever end? But he did deliver in the action scenes. I guess I'm just gonna say that over and over again. Overall, I'm going to recommend it with caution. This is definitely not a movie if somebody said they've never heard of Van Damme, they don't know who he is. I wouldn't say, well, you got to watch The Order. The Order is really good. I would not introduce them to The Order for a Van Damme movie whatsoever. This is like one of those movies where you've already became a fan of Van Damme and you've seen all the other ones, but you haven't seen this one, so you want to see him in a new movie like you haven't seen before. This is one of those type of movies for Van Damme, and that's why I watched it. I watched all the other ones, and I've heard about The Order here and there, and people have said good stuff about it. There is some good stuff about it. Like I said, for the 100th time, the action scenes are really good. Everything is bad. I do kind of like the Indiana Jones type of storyline. Like the plot's pretty good. Like the storyline is pretty good. It's just poorly executed. So overall, definitely not one of Van Damme's best movies. I don't know, might be the worst movie I've seen. Bloodsport, I love Bloodsport, but overall, like the acting on Bloodsport is pretty bad, especially the younger actor of Van Damme. When Van Damme's supposed to be a kid, that guy cannot act for nothing. Especially at that time period, maybe became a famous actor. I don't know. But, Van Damme's movies never been really known for great acting. I think it's time to end this video because I don't really got nothing else to say about this. But I'm going to recommend this with caution. If you're a Van Damme fan and you've never seen it, it'll be worth your watch. Otherwise, I would stay away from it. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you've already seen this movie, let me know. Am I wrong? Do you really enjoy this movie? Do you think it's a good movie? Do you think this is one of Van Damme's better movies? To me, no. But maybe for some of you out there, if you think this is a great movie for Van Damme, let me know in the comments below. I'm not going to put you down or anything. I'm just interested in seeing what you saw that I didn't see. Have a great day. Bye.